You have to be focused. Don't be confused. Just make a clarity in your mind that what you would like to do with your life. Things do happen. Sometimes it takes time. For somebody, it could be, you know, within a month you can get a job. Sometimes it takes multiple times, you will appear for the interview. Just don't give up, don't lose hope, and keep on upgrading your knowledge.
Hello, amazing folks. Welcome to another interesting episode of the podcast show Trivia Talks. I'm your host, Tarun Mundra, and in this episode, we are going to talk about a very important topic for all the college students and job seekers out there, which is cracking a virtual interview. In this COVID era, it is becoming very difficult to find a right job for the right profile. And even after you're getting the interview call, it is equally difficult to crack those virtual selection rounds. So, to understand more about it, to answer all the FAQs regarding virtual interview, we have one of the experts from this field, and our guest for tonight is Pratibha Agarwal. Ma'am is postgraduate in mass communication and journalism. She is currently working with a reputed MBA college in Indore as a full-time senior soft skill and personality development trainer. She is a catalyst and versatile professional with 10 years of experience with special expertise in institutional and corporate training. Pratibha ma'am is also a certified life skill coach and vocational trainer for Tata Institute of Social Science. She is impaneled trainer with many renowned publications and is well acclaimed career guide and counselor. She has worked with electronic media and print media as well as corporate giants like Wipro, WNS, and has trained more than 10,000 students for campus to corporate program. She trained professionals from pharmaceutical industry like Cipla and Lupin. She has also conducted several workshops for teachers, students, and parents in renowned schools of Madhya Pradesh. In this lockdown, ma'am has launched her own YouTube channel, which is Fresh Learning Academy, to provide free training sessions and guidance to students. In this episode of Trivia Talks, ma'am is going to talk about each and every aspect of virtual selection process, from GD, extempore, jam to the final interview round. Ma'am is going to share tips and tricks to crack each of them. The entire discussion is going to be very helpful and informative for all those who are seeking for job and want to crack those virtual interview. So without any further ado, let's start this amazing discussion with Pratibha ma'am. Let's go. So, hi, ma'am. Welcome to Trivia Talks. It's an honor having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you so much, Tarun, for inviting me to this platform.
Yeah. To give a bit of brief context about you, I would like to ask the first question, which is your background. So, it would be very nice if you can, share your background, what exactly you're doing right now.
Definitely, definitely. So, hi there, all of you, those who are listening to me. Definitely, this podcast would be, add value. So, talking about myself, I'm Pratibha. I have been into this field of education and into corporate training from a decade. It has been 10 plus years I corporates. I'm a mass comm student. I did my mass communication. After that, I did my graduation. I am an expert in career guidance and counseling. And then I'm working as a vocational trainer with Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So I feel that is more than enough right now to share about me. Definitely, you all are listening to someone who do have an expertise and knowledge about the subject, which we will be discussing entire podcast.
Talking about this particular era, which is COVID-19, one of the major issue which we have seen in the initial time was job losses, right?
Right, very
And
true.
the final year students
Right, very
and
true.
the final year students who are going to get placed, whether they are in undergrad or in post graduation, they are
Mhm,
facing a lot of issues in finding the companies. Even colleges are also not getting chances to bring the right companies. So
mhm.
my first question to you is specifically regarding those final year students. So how difficult it is getting for a, you can say, B school student or a
Mhm.
undergrad final year student to get a job during COVID-19?
Definitely, Tarun. I feel this is the relevant question you have asked at this time of pandemic when things are up and down. Most of the students are in have any clarity like what will happen with their future. Now, your point was regarding the job. So, see, cracking the job interview has always been very daunting. It makes stress, it creates stress for candidate. And with this COVID-19 situation, things has like become more challenging as students are not getting the kind of placement scenarios which they expected earlier. Definitely, the number of companies approaching colleges have decreased because, right now there are few of the things which you can say as a boon and few part first as your question is aligned to the same. You asked me whether the situation is okay or what are the things, which student have to keep in mind at the time of this pandemic related to their placement. So definitely situation is tough as there are enormous number of students who belong to tier 1, 2 and renowned premier B schools, but everybody is in a crowd because everything is happening online, which I mean to say is virtually. So right now what the leverage or what the thing companies are doing is they, because they are treating everybody equally. Also right now many of the companies, if you talk about, they are giving equal opportunity to everybody. So no doubt that the competition has increased because everyone is competing with each other, whether it's tier 1 2 colleges or if you talk about the colleges who have established themselves in a recent period of time. There is no doubt of job, but definitely there are few other domains where you can see a drop in recruitment. Now, talking about few of the domains which will face or which are recently facing crisis or there is dearth of jobs are airlines, hospitality. These are few of the domains जहां पर अगर देखा जाए तो काफी कम हो गए हैं अभी placement because of this pandemic. But there are other sectors. If you talk about AI, if you talk about edutech platforms, they are hiring a large number of students. If you talk about for sales and marketing background, remote working, this thing has come into culture which has created a lot more ease for the students who would like to do something part time or who are dealing with multiple things at the same point of time. Briefly giving an answer to your question, how the is not that bad, which we all speak about. Because when you will go to any of the platforms, either it is LinkedIn, either you go to any of the, job portals, you'll find enormous number of jobs which are available. Sector may vary, domain may vary, but we can't say that there is dearth of job. So the need of the hour is if you are competent enough, if you have upgraded your skills, your knowledge, if you have all those key traits or key set requires for a particular kind of job profile you are applying for, definitely there is no dearth of job.
True, ma'am. True, ma'am. And ma'am, you mentioned about the virtual selection process
Mhm.
also. So I
Yeah.
would like to highlight on that also because you are a YouTuber and you are, providing a lot of
Right.
value to your
Hmm.
videos and you're
Hmm.
doing a lot of research in finding which companies are hiring and which are not.
True.
So just to, give a very good understanding to our listeners that
Hmm.
how to crack virtual interviews. So what are the processes which companies are bringing for virtual platforms?
Definitely. So, since the majority of organization have moved to adopt the digital infrastructure and online mode of selection, so there are quite common initial rounds where the entire interview process will likely interview rounds. If you will talk about or the selection process lies within a GD, which is a group discussion, personal interview, HR or managerial round, and everything is done online. The only thing what you have to do is you have to send your resume that will be screened, and after that everything is happening online. Now, whether it is a virtual or face to face interview, it's very important for everyone to be very imperative about it and to be prepared. So if you want to get through the interview successfully, there are few key things that you need to consider. First thing, which is you have to find out what background you belong to, what are the key skills you have in yourself. For an example, I will share with you, Tarun, what happens is I most often I interact with students and they would like to apply for whatsoever profile or job openings will appear in front of their eyes. For an example, if they are from finance background, core finance, but they if see some job openings that pop up on the window of job portal that is for sales personnel, they are ready to join. What I would like to tell you all, dear student, is be very specific. Do set a clear goal what you would like to do with your future and with your career. So very important thing is first see what are your interests, what are your key areas or expertise, or as a fresher don't say it expertise but your key attributes which you have. The second important thing is you should do a thorough research about yourself. You might be expecting that I will say do a thorough research about the company. That is there, but it comes on third rank. The second one is do a thorough research about yourself. I will suggest you all to do your SWOT analysis so that you know yourself better. Because when you are applying for any interview, recruiter would definitely ask you one question that is the universal question, and that is, tell me something about yourself. It would be great if you would have done a thorough research, if you have done an introspection about what are your key strengths, what are your flaws, your areas of improvement, or how you would be a suitable employee for the organization you are applying for. So this is the second thing, do a thorough research about yourself, about the organization and job profile you are applying for. Go through the job description if you're applying online, if you're applying offline, via campus, off campus, everywhere the job description is always there in front of you, but you never take out time to go through the profile. So important tip is do a thorough research about the organization. Visit their website, go through their LinkedIn profile, visit their Twitter handle. There are n number of places you will find information about the particular company. So this is the area you have to work upon. Now, before all this, there is one thing which is very important, and that is your updated resume. You would like to apply for a certain profile. For an example, you would like to apply for sales, but your resume will highlight everything about HR or finance. Then see, that time a question arises from recruiter. Hey, you have done everything related to finance, then why you are applying? Targeted resume. For an example, if you are a student who has dual specialization, if you have opted for HR and marketing, I would suggest you to make two resumes. One would be the resume which will highlight your internship, your key attributes, qualities, everything related to HR domain, and the other one, it becomes very easier for ATS machine. You all must be aware that HR don't have that much time to go through the piles of resumes in front of them, but it is through the ATS machine. So if your resume is ATS friendly, by ATS friendly, I mean to say, do put all the keywords or the buzzwords which are there mentioned in the job profile. Take some words from there, put up in your profile, and then highlight those words, and that way it would be very easier for any ATS machine to filter your resume. So this is one more thing which you have to
Kind of keywords we should add? Like if I talk about marketing, HR, and finance, so what are
definitely.
the keyword which ATS machine is looking for?
Yes, Tarun, for an example, if you're applying for the sales profile and in the job description, it is mentioned that we are looking for young, energetic, sales oriented candidate. Okay, so these are the keywords. Now what you have to do is when you mention about your strength or key attributes in your resume, do highlight this word. You can say you are a kind of person you know who is target oriented, hardworking, good in conversation, negotiation skill, because these are the qualities which are required for a salesperson. On the other hand, if you're applying for finance position, analytical skill, problem solving, numerical ability, these are the things which are required in a finance industry. So make sure you use those kind of words whenever you are making or creating your resume. This way it will highlight your key skill, it will match up with the key which is required in the industry, and it will help you out to get that particular job. At least that resume will get.
Ma'am, before I talk about each processes which are over there, aptitude, GD,
Mhm.
and PI, I would like to
Right.
talk about resume a bit more. According to you, what is the
D-
perfect format of resume? Because there are lots of thing over there. Many are saying that photograph is not required, date of birth is
Definitely.
not required,
Mhm.
and many like unstructured resumes are also there online, which
Mhm.
are like happening as an example of resume. So I
Sure.
would like to know from you, according to you, what is a perfect resume?
Definitely, Tarun.
Yeah.
It is a very complicated question because you will get n number of resumes and samples. First thing is students are still confused. So, to cut off this confusion, what we as a trainer tell student is stop writing on the top of the resume whether you have made a CV or a resume. If you have noticed, Tarun, if you will, see few of the resumes, they highlight at the very center that this is a resume. They write it resume. If they are making their CV, they write it at the top of that paper CV. So don't do that. Avoid writing that. Okay,
Right.
because in case if a recruiter asks you, hey, I would like to have your CV, then if you are giving a paper or anything which has written resume on the top, it would look very awkward. Anything which has written resume on the top, it would look very awkward. So to get off this confusion, avoid writing that. What is the target resume? As I will tell you, there are basically three forms, but today I will talk about the chronological resume. Chronological resume for a fresher, this resume is perfect because in this kind of resume, you talk about your present first, and then, for an example, if Tarun is pursuing his MBA in the educational qualification field which we write in resume, he will talk about his MBA first, followed by graduation, 12th, and 10th. So, this is because any recruiter is hiring you because you have done your MBA. You are getting shortlisted for any job because you are pursuing MBA, and that is what a company is looking for. But most of the students, so do not forget to mention your resume or write your resume in chronological order, which means first thing first. Talking about your internships, projects, everything should be in the present format. The first one, if you are doing something in 2021, highlight it first. After that, idea to recruiter that how active you have been throughout the years. Okay, and if they find out that you have been active throughout, it will definitely give a very good impression. Now, Tarun, as you asked me about age should be mentioned, photograph should be there or not, it totally depends on the industry you are applying for. For an MBA student, a resume should be very simple. If you talk about if somebody is applying for advertising field, digital marketing, therein your resume could be creative. If you are applying for creative field, definitely your resume will have some extra thing as compared to MBA student. Photograph. If asked, you can give your photograph. It is not usually asked. For an MBA student, I will tell you all to avoid to put your photograph until and unless asked. In case if you would like to put up your photo, make sure that it is professional. Don't put up any picture which is older than 3 months. Good background. It shouldn't be a photo which we use, on your Insta or Twitter handle. Make sure it looks professional. Now, talking about date of birth and other things, don't talk about your marital status or gender until and unless you are applying for a position where in the advertisement it has been made clear that they are hiring for male. Okay, if you're applying for air hostess, for an example, there is a age criteria. In that case, you can mention about age criteria or gender. In that case, you can mention those stuffs. Criteria or gender. In that case, you can mention those stuffs. Otherwise, just leave it out. Don't take up the resume space for writing what gender you know, what is your gender, what is your marital status or nationality. Just forget it. The more things which you have to put on your resume is is like, if you would like to highlight your objective, if you have something specific in your mind related to the industry you're applying for, you can write the objective, or else you can just omit that section. You will start with the educational qualification in chronological order: MBA, BBA, 12th and 10th. After that, you should talk about your technical expertise. If you belong to engineering background, talk about your technical skills. If you belong to MBA, then talk about your professional experience or exposure in terms of certifications, internships, any workshops or webinars attended, that way. Now, followed by, you can talk about extra skills. For an example, IT skills, MS Office, Tally. If you have something extra, you can mention it under the heading IT skills. Followed by that, you can always highlight your resume talking about your key attributes. Earlier, we used to call this section as strength, but these days we don't the word professional attributes or key skills or key attributes. And then you can follow up with, any kind of other things which you would like to highlight, and just end up. So for a fresher, one page resume will be more than enough. It will serve the purpose. Be very specific, short, crisp, and just highlight whatever you would like to do in bullet points. So Tarun, if you will talk about resume, overall it will take an hour to describe everything about resume, but
Right.
in a nutshell, this is how a resume of a fresher should look like.
That is going to help, a lot of listeners. So
Thank you.
if I talk about it, so resume
Mhm.
can be of, like, it should be of one page. And when we
Right.
talk about CV is a lengthy part of our entire,
Definitely. For an example, when we attain to a position of executive, when we get 2, 3 years of experience, definitely we will be not talking about our academics, right? An experienced professional, we will be talking about where we all have worked, what organization you have worked for, what were your key responsibilities. So in that case, CV definitely becomes a little bit more lengthy as compared to resume.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you,
Hmm.
ma'am. So moving towards the first thing, which is
Hmm.
regarding the virtual selection process. So,
Hmm.
right now virtual GDs are very common, and each and every companies are trying to do that online itself, because
Hmm.
it's not possible to do it offline.
Right.
So according to you, when we are talking, for example, if there are five people in this particular room and
Hmm.
we all are talking over Google Meet, there are five people in this particular room and
Hmm.
we all are talking over Google Meet. So there are
Hmm.
chances that we overlap with some other person, and there
Hmm.
are various do's and don'ts for that. So according to you,
Yes.
how one should handle the virtual GD and crack it, like if he is confident person and he know
Mhm.
about the topic?
Definitely. So GD has always been treated as one of the major round. You can call it as a mass selection round or a mass rejection round, because we all know that there would be 10, 15, more than 12 or 10 students in a GD. Now, Tarun, giving reply to this question, I would like to clarify on one point. Most of the edutech companies, if you kind of interviews, they do conduct GD, but right now the pattern of GD has changed. In these kind of companies, they do ask you to speak on a topic. It's like a jam session, just a minute. It won't be actually a GD wherein we create fish market, but GD has changed virtually. Right now GD is one to one, though it will be called as GD, as a group discussion round, but everybody would be getting an opportunity to speak for a minute on a given topic. So this is the way, most of the companies are taking their GD, treating, or have changed the mode of GD this way. But there are few other companies who are doing it traditionally. For an example, we used to do it offline. 10, 12 students would have to speak on a given topic. So that way, there are few points which everybody has to keep in mind. The first one is always be a good listener. While you are there in a GD, you are being a part of GD, there are three key roles which you can play. First is initiator, one who initiate the GD. Maybe you would be the lucky one who will get an opportunity to introduce the topic to the other members or candidates who are appearing in that particular GD. Second one is moderator. Sometimes we find that GD is going nowhere, nobody is able to speak to the point what the topic is. Their moderator comes into action, and the role of moderator is to make that GD the GD. So these three are very key important roles which you can play at the time of your GD. It will definitely give you an edge over the other candidates who are applying. Second one is, because things are going on virtually, make sure that your appearance, because first impression is the last impression, that is very true, video is on at the time of GD. There are a few other things which you have to keep in mind before applying, or before attending a GD. Check whether your mic is working or not. See whether there is no background noise when you are applying for any. Make sure there is stable internet connection. These are few basic things, but we definitely forget about this things, okay, when it comes to virtual GD. So these are few key points you have to work upon, and definitely talk on the topic. Group discussion is not a debate, it's a discussion. Mainly most of the times every student is confused. They ask me, ma'am, we should either talk in favor or against the topic. Let me tell you, or it's not about favor or against, it's about the topic, it's about the discussion you would like to make upon that topic. So don't get confused, it's not a debate, it's to make upon that topic. So don't get confused, it's not a debate, it's a discussion. You could be neutral throughout the group discussion. It won't give an impression that you have no hold on whatever you would like to say, but it gives an impression that you are a kind of person who knows about the topic and you have your neutral views about the topic. So Tarun, again, as told earlier, resume is a big thing to describe, same as with GD. There are n number of do's and don'ts. But in case if somebody would like to know more about it, as Tarun shared, I'm a YouTuber. There is Fresh Learning Academy channel on YouTube. You all can go and check out.
Everyone should check out the channel because that is very helpful to crack any kind of interview. And ma'am is also posting about different jobs and different opportunities which are over there off campus itself. So, ma'am, regarding GD, you mentioned about the extempore and just a minute part, which was a bit, a very creative part because this make the entire scenario. Yeah. Moving towards the final round, which is basically the interview round. So, as you already mentioned about the tell me about yourself, we should be
Right.
prepared about ourselves.
Mhm.
I would like to highlight on one thing which was commonly seen by me when I was, giving sales and marketing interviews,
Okay.
which was a stress interview. So me when I was, giving sales and marketing interviews,
Okay.
which was a stress interview. So
Mhm.
what is stress interview? To give a brief about the to our listeners, it is an interview style that companies use to gauge a candidate's response to stress. For example, they will try to put in a situation where you are not bluff with you. So in one of the interview of mine, they thrown my CV and they told like you don't have any kind of experience in it. You are
Right.
worthless like that. And
Right.
after that, I got selected in that company. But yeah, they were trying to checking my like they were checking my patience or something like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So ma'am, I would like to ask you if such kind of interviews are happening on virtual platforms. So what should be our response? Get
Right.
banned, right?
Yeah. So, Tarun, you asked very appropriate question, because when it comes to sales and marketing or any kind of position or profile where stress would be involved, definitely you are going to come across these kind of stress interviews which will create stress around you. You will be very prepared, you will be confident, but as soon as you encounter unexpected questions, something starts happening in your stomach. Yeah. So how to handle which you all can use. First one is because you know that you're applying for a position or a job where stress will be involved. For an example, stress in marketing, where you have to meet targets, where you have to create new customer base, where you have to give reporting to your manager every now and then. That time, so much of pressure every now and then. That time, so much of pressure and stress would be there. So be prepared with this kind of situation beforehand. Start practicing all those relevant questions which could be asked to you related to profile. For an example, what if these are the kind of questions? These are what if these are the kind of questions. These are known as what if questions. What if this doesn't happen? What will you do? What if you came up with a meeting with some of the client, and that client is now telling he is not available? How you will deal this kind of situation? There is one technique which is very useful. I have tried is known as star technique or star method. This method could be used at the time of personal interview as well as at the time of stress interview. What this star is, I will tell you. S here stands for situation, T is for task, A is for action, and R is for result. In case if somebody asks you, okay, so how would you handle stress, or how will you deal with a difficult customer? That time we get stuck. Hey, what should we answer? So be prepared beforehand, because this kind of questions may arise. It can come out of box anytime, and recruiter could ask you this question. So the approach should be star approach. Now think about a situation, how you will respond at that time of situation. What would be the task which will be assigned to you? What action will you take, and what would be the result? Giving you a very short and crisp example is, for an are good in your communication skills, and then again at the time of interview there, the recruiter creates a pressure or a stress situation and asks, okay, you have mentioned that you are very good in your communication skill, now sell me this stuff. That times you come under pressure because you have not beforehand that times you come under pressure because you have not beforehand prepared for any such kind of situation. So make sure you talk about a situation wherever you have faced that kind of situation. You can give an example of any event, whatever happened in your college, any of the event which happened in your college. You can talk about the situation and then responsibilities, what action you did to fulfill all those responsibilities, and then what was the result. If you will prepare this way, definitely there will be no stress for you, because you would know how to handle any kind of questions. So this is one way, Tarun, you can handle stress interviews. The second one is, be good listener. Again and again I will emphasize on this, because most of the time problem arises because we don't know or don't listen to what have been asked to us. So be very good listener, listen to the question which comes from recruiter, and then only take some time, think about that question, and then reply. Keep your answers short and crisp, and always prepare all these interview questions in advance, because preparation is the key to success. What I call it is to plan. This is the thing which you have to keep in mind.
Very rightly explained, ma'am. And you mentioned about the selling part, sell me something or sell me this, sell
Right.
me that.
Mhm.
So we are not aware about what exactly the interviewer is thinking and why they asked the question. Because,
Mhm.
one of my friend was attending this interview in one of the famous FMCG company.
Mhm.
You sell me 10,000 rupees MI phone, which is over there, like in your desk. So he was having that phone, and they were trying to tell him that you sell me that phone, and how will you
Right.
convince me?
Mhm.
Right. So, what is the idea behind that interview? Because they don't want the perfect answer. So, what
Right.
exactly they are looking for?
Okay, Tarun, as this question is very much relevant to the job which right now we see there are abundance of job in sales and marketing. So we all know that sales is a rewarding and challenging career. We all know that you can earn some extra money through incentives, and no other job will give you this, advantage. But sales and marketing is a kind of, job which will give you incentives. You can earn more than your salary. One of my friend who is working with one of the leading edtech platform, he don't use his salary at all. He has bought his Mercedes with the incentive he has earned. career is. But see, rewards will come with stress, will this kind of question. So the idea behind why you these questions are asked, because sales is a performance based career. The more and more you will be able to handle questions, because when you will become a part of sales team, definitely you will be dealing with customers sell your services or products or whatever you would like to sell, so that time they would like to gauge whether you are a suitable candidate who has replied to all kind of questions, where whether you give up or whether you are a kind of person who never gives up and reply to each and every question, how creative you are you a kind of person who can think on the feet, are you a kind of person who is able to sell even a dead mouse, so these are the skills which they are gauging upon. Definitely they would like to check upon your communication skill, your convincing skill, and that you never give up, because sales is a kind of job where many of these students just drop the idea, to go in sales field because they feel it is a kind of job which is full of stress, but it's not like that.
Very true, ma'am, and very well explained actually.
Thank you.
Now, preparing for the GD or PI, right?
Mhm.
So, ma'am, looking at the current scenario, which is COVID-19, do you think MBA is worth doing? No matter whether the like B school is premier or the tier two B school,
Mhm.
the investment which we are like making as of now is worth the return on investment which we will be getting, because the jobs are not there. Like making as of now is worth the return on investment which we will be getting, because the jobs are not there. So
Mhm.
according to the scenario.
I would like to, paraphrase this question, Tarun, because if you talk about certain, like if you're talking about MBA, what I feel is choose a career, because career is not only a choice, but yes, it will decide your, all your future, all your life. Because if you choose a wrong career or a profession, you won't be able to justify your skills or whatever you wanted to do with your life, if it's professional front. What I feel is no degree is worthless, because in each and everything you learn something new. As far as MBA degree is concerned, if there are students who are listening to me and they are confused whether they should go for MBA degree or not, see, it totally depends why would you like to do any degree. First, the answer should come from within, from yourself. Ask yourself question, hey, why would you like to do MBA? If you get 5 or 6 appropriate answers for that, then definitely you should go for degree. Now, if you are a kind of person who is very creative, I feel MBA is not only one of the field. Maybe there are few other domains, or you can say career opportunities which are trending in 2021. You can opt for those kind of. It will totally depend what graduation. For an example, if they belong to BCom and they don't want to make their career or don't want to pursue MCom. If somebody is from technical background, he or she is pursuing BTech or BE, but later on they come to know that, hey, I'm not that much good in coding. Coding is not my cup of tea. That time MBA is definitely only a kind of degree which will give a new start to your career, because anyone from any background can go for MBA. So MBA will give you more professional, or you can say opportunities, if you would like to change in your career, or whatever degrees you have pursued earlier. It will be it will act as a boon for you, the MBA degree, because right now in MBA you have so many options available. Leave about those traditional, specialization, marketing, finance, IT, HR, operations. There are else. You can go for journalism, you can go for mass communication, digital marketing, business analytics, data analytics, and whatnot. So, Tarun, giving reply to this question, MBA is worth. It totally depends on what kind of person you are. If you don't want to make yourself successful, no degree, no certificate will help you out. But if you have that zeal and passion to do something in your life as a student, any degree would add value to you.
Very well, ma'am. Because because I think everyone have got their like answer if they are stuck in life and they're confused whether to go for MBA or not.
Sorry for
Yeah.
interruption. I would like to the profiles or website of any companies, or if you will see the job portals, each big company, if you talk about giant companies, they talk about equal opportunity for everyone. So these days, it's not about tier one, tier two colleges or premium B schools, because everything is online. Anybody could apply. The only thing is, if you are suitable candidate, either you belong to tier 1 tier 2 college or not, if you are capable of handling those positions, you could be an asset for that company. So all those are myth. Definitely B school student have that legacy, because B school student have that legacy because B school have spent so many years in hard work and commitment, that students, no doubt, as compared to other students, they are more focused about the career. But don't think that if you don't belong from a premier B school, you won't getting a job in Google or Amazon.
Mention about it because everyone was thinking that after
Hmm.
COVID everything is online, everything is virtual, so we can
Right,
learn anything for free, right?
right,
But these degree are having their own value, and this is the reason why I tried to keep these questions.
correct.
So moving towards the last question, ma'am, and this is for all the students who
Yes.
are giving interviews again and again and they
Hmm.
are not able to crack that, or they are not getting the right opportunities.
Hmm.
So I would like to ask you for the recommendation for those students who are trying in their interview or trying to find the job. What would be your advice for those students?
First thing is, don't lose hope. All the people who are famous, whom you don't lose hope. All the people who are famous, whom you know, they have failed once in a while in their career. So just don't give up. What I see these days, students give up very easily. They don't have patience. Yeah, so be patient. The more and more interviews you are giving, though you definitely, there is a way, those things will make you more capable. You will become more strong in, you will know how you have to handle those questions. So just don't give up on hope. Don't rely only on one medium. Do keep up your options open. Be very active on social media platforms. Here I would like to say active on social media platforms. Here I would like to say professional platform, that is LinkedIn. What I find out is LinkedIn is acting as a catalyst if you talk about freshers to get a job, because every now and then you will be getting a job posting. The only thing is, you have to be focused. Don't be confused what you would like to do with your life. One and the last thing is that don't be confused. Just stay confident, have a clear goals, have a clear mindset, and stay positive all the time. Things do happen. Sometimes it takes time. For somebody, it could be, you know, within a month you can get a job. Sometimes it takes multiple times, you will appear for the interview. Just don't give up, don't lose hope, and keep on upgrading your knowledge. Though if you are not getting any job right now, don't look for job. Try for another life project. Go for an internship. Go for the certification which is required for the profile you would like to do in as a job. So these are the things, Tarun, I feel are more than enough to keep somebody motivated. And yes, definitely listen all these podcasts, because they will definitely help you out and boost your confidence.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you for giving valuable advice to the listeners. And I would recommend ma'am's YouTube channel for sure, because if you're looking for jobs and interview processes, the ma'am is creating amazing content.
Thank
And
you, Tarun.
I actually like invited ma'am through that content only because I find it very relevant, and I was looking for it because many of the B school students or undergrad students were conversation, ma'am, and I'm definitely sure that it is going to help a lot of listeners. Thank you so much for taking out time for this podcast and joining us.
I'm much obliged, Tarun, and thanks a ton to you being a youth. You are thinking upon these kind of topics, this kind of platform. This will definitely add value. So, once again, wish you all the best. And yes, don't forget to check out Fresh Learning